the governor gave this creepy speech where he was talking about speculators coming in and talking about what to do with the land of all these homes that have been burnt down while it's still only 6% contained. And he did this little dance like, I've been talking with these, with the governor of Hawaii about what to do. We got some ideas. A speculator, we're gonna have some meetings. Like, he's
really?
Oh, show it to him, Jamie. It's so creepy.
Has he been opposing it? But he's been funneling the California taxpayers' money to the homeless, who are everywhere, thanks to him, to soft on crime DAs, right, who he supports and Sorrell supports, who are letting these looters in and out, and then he denies it. Meanwhile, we've seen the law that's been on the books up until recently when the California taxpayers reversed it, saying if you steal under $1,000, we're not going to come after you. It's fine. It's a misdemeanor.
Gavin Newsom was subjected to a brutal attack by Joe Rogan and Megyn Kelly that charred every aspect of his political persona. They revealed a self-satisfied, premeditated catastrophe that led to California's downfall, from his sleek hair to his disorganized policies. Kelly brought the knife, Rogan the flames, and Newsom's shiny exterior was no match for either. In addition to being vicious, this roast served as a masterclass in shattering illusion. This takedown simply snipped Newsom's ambition in the middle of its flight.
I was just talking to Josh Green, the governor of down in Hawaii, who had some ideas around some land use concerns he has around speculators coming in, buying up properties and the like. So we're already working with our legal teams to move those things forward, and we'll be presenting those in a matter of days, not just weeks.
With a big smile on his face. Look at the little wiggle he does with his shoulders. Speculator, watch this. Talking to Josh. Look at this little wiggle. It's excited about the possibilities of speculators coming.
Thanks to him, illegals. So like, this guy's priorities are not with keeping people safe at all. He doesn't care about the crime, about the illegals, and obviously not about the fires, which after the fact, again, like, hey, sure, could somebody let me know how that happened?
Joe Rogan wasted no time in getting to know Gavin Newsom before launching into a tirade of unsavory public remarks and poor policy. Newsom was more than a mere politician to Rogan. He served as a metaphor for everything that goes wrong when substance is subordinated to style. A man who appears to have had a defective empathy chip installed during genetic engineering in a politician factory.
No dignity. That's what I was missing. There was no dignity. It just looked like a man desperate for attention, and whenever DeSantis was scoring points on him, he would interrupt over and over to try to talk over the points as just that's like a middle school debate tactic, which is pathetic and not effective.
Rogan immediately jumped in, labeling Newsom's notorious hair the most overachieving aspect of him. It wasn't just slicked back. Joe said it was desperately clinging to what little credibility he had left, according to him.
Move forward. We're going to move forward on that. These people lost their homes. A lot of those people don't even have fire insurance because the fire insurance pulled out of California. I think like 69% of fire insurance pulled out of California because they're like, this is too crazy. Like, you guys aren't doing jack shit to manage this. You're not clearing the brush. The amount of money they could have saved by just clearing brush, by filling the reservoir, that 11 million gallon reservoir was completely empty during the time of full fire season. Like, why didn't you fix it?
Newsom's hair would most likely win in any fight with accountability. But beyond the vanity, Rogan tackled the glaring hypocrisy that troubled him. Like a surgeon, he analyzed Newsom's lockdown decisions, pointing out that the California governor essentially made up the regulations only to break them later. While dining by candlelight, Rogan compared it to being scolded for speeding by a traffic cop who just ran every red light. He portrayed a leader who gave Californians strict rules while keeping a VIP exit for himself, complete with a chef's tasting menu and wine pairings.
Trump derangement syndrome. You decided to be a J6, anti-J6 warrior. You participated in the J6 committee, which was completely dishonest and a show trial. And Republicans decided you weren't their cup of tea. It was not Steve Bannon's fault. In any event, they're melting down on the left over what Gavin Newsom is doing, which is kind of fun. I mean, it almost makes me want to see it continue, but not.
The crisis of homelessness followed. Rogan didn't mince words in cities that now resemble post-apocalyptic video game settings. He slammed Newsom's inability to maintain basic cleanliness. Joe claimed Gavin turned one of the nation's most picturesque states into a living warning. Tourists no longer need a haunted house for Halloween, he joked. Just take a walk through downtown San Francisco if you can dodge the needles.
Forgive me, but it looks like a nuclear bomb hit the region. Just a huge swath of one of our most beautiful cities is gone. So all these politicians are done. They don't appear to know it, but Mayor Bass, your career's over. You're probably going to be recalled and kicked out of office. There's a change.com petition with over 100,000 signatures. She's going. I don't know if she knows that. Gavin Newsom, same. You're effed. Stop telling us about the embers in your hair. It's over for you, my friend. I'm sorry, but your political career ended last week. Again, he's pretending like he doesn't know it. I'm here to...
Rogan criticized Newsom for his tax policies, calling him the kind of person who thinks taxing your way out of a crisis you created is like slapping a band-aid on a collapsing bridge and calling it progress. He imagined Gavin wondering why the vibe was off while looking at a spreadsheet of residents fleeing the state. Newsom treats press briefings like auditions for a daytime soap opera, Rogan said, mocking his non-stop media presence. If charisma had a refund policy, California would have collected by now. He also went after Gavin's climate hypocrisy, preaching carbon cuts while flying private. If irony were renewable, Rogan joked, Newsom could power the West Coast. He closed by saying Gavin looked like a man ready to launch a fragrance called Evasion with hints of deflection and moral superiority.
State law set to take effect April 1st, 2024. A restaurant chain with more than 60 locations nationwide that produces for sale bread as a standalone menu item does not count as fast food. The confusing exemption led to controversy following a Bloomberg article published February 28th reporting that the fast casual chain Panera Bread has dodged an upcoming minimum wage increase for fast food workers in California to $20 an hour. The article connected the bread exemption to billionaire Greg Flynn, a frequent donor to California Governor Gavin Newsom's political campaigns, who owns more than 24 Panera Bread locations in the state. In a statement to Snopes, however, Newsom spokesperson Alex Stack denied any such connection played a role in the law and even suggested the exemption would not actually apply to Panera. The governor never met with Flynn about this bill, and the story is absurd, Stack said. Well, they don't have to meet. They can talk on the phone. Our legal team has reviewed, and it appears that Panera is not exempt from the law.
After Rogan threw punches, Megyn Kelly arrived with a scalpel. Her takedown was calm, focused, and ruthless. She did more than insult Newsom, she dissected him, pointing out his obsession with appearances over results. He's like a political smoke machine, she said, dramatic, distracting, but full of empty fluff like a disillusioned auditor. She broke down his record, big promises, flashy photo ops, and failed results in housing, education, and wildfire management. This isn't leadership, she said, it's branding in a tailored suit. She also skewered his moral grandstanding, accusing him of demanding sacrifice from Californians while treating himself to luxuries, like a captain yelling for buckets while escaping a sinking ship on a speedboat.
Like a personal plea to people, and got a lot of great feedback on it, so thank you for watching that. But then I took it to Twitter, and on X, I addressed Gavin Newsom personally. He follows me, so I tagged him. And I'm going to be honest, I begged him to please stop this for all the reasons stated on our...
Kelly went further, slamming Newsom's soft authoritarianism during the pandemic. She said he ruled like a man addicted to his own decrease, playing the hero on stage and sneaking off for high-end nights while his citizens lived under curfews. For her, the hypocrisy wasn't accidental, it was deliberate. She laid out California's collapse in schools, rising crime, and shuttered small businesses as proof that Newsom's leadership was dysfunction wrapped in fake compassion. No jokes, just facts that stung. She warned that Gavin wasn't fixing California, he was prepping for promotion. Watching him run for higher office, she said, is like watching someone burn down their house and ask to rebuild the neighborhood. Giving him more power, she added, would be like putting a fox in charge of the henhouse. She mocked his habit of framing all criticism as slander, saying he lived in a bubble where disagreement was betrayal and accountability didn't exist. Kelly said Gavin blamed the very system he ran, then smiled for magazine covers while California crumbled beneath him.
He praised Biden. I would never run against him. A man of character. Like, I'm old school. It's God. That's how like a really good actor would play a complete crazy person. It's like he's playing someone in a movie that's a crazy person.
Rogan returned with a vengeance, zeroing in on Newsom's almost comical level of denial. Joe pictured Gavin grinning like a campaign poster while strolling through a city filled with boarded-up shops, drug tents, and vanished police. This wasn't just illusion, it was performance art. Newsom could burn down a room, Rogan joked, and then hold a press conference on the dangers of spontaneous combustion. He called him a political magician distracting with one hand while the other sets off fireworks of failure. Joe mocked Gavin's tone-deaf deflections, saying he could be surrounded by suffering and still deliver a speech on equity with the emotional depth of a telemarketer. While the real world burned outside, he said Newsom cycled through slogans like a screensaver.
This week, a transition male athlete, meaning a male pretending to be a female, at a major event won everything and is now qualified to compete in the state finals next weekend. As a male, he was a less than average competitor. All true. As a female, this transition person is practically unbeatable. This is not fair and totally demeaning to women.
Then came the schools. Rogan slammed Newsom's education record, saying the governor promoted safety while letting California kids fall behind, keeping children in an unstructured lockdown. Joe said, wasn't protection, it was neglect in disguise. Then Kelly delivered her final blow, accusing Newsom of hiding behind identity politics to escape criticism. She said that when challenged, he dodged responsibility with slick charm and buzzwords. Kelly mocked his cozy media strategy, comparing him to an influencer who curated interviews with flattering lighting and soft questions. Real leaders face hard questions, she said. Gavin faced makeup artists. She warned that outside California's media bubble, voters wouldn't care about his hair, his scripted lines, or his moral theatrics. Out there, the questions and the consequences would be real.
The whole state is just so poorly managed. It's so frustrating and confusing. And then he gets on TV and pretends like everything's great. Mm-hmm. And California's the best. We have the best state. We have the most amazing economy. I'm like, you're out of your mind, dude. You've ruined the state. Personally ruined it.
Manhattan is 14,000 acres. In LA, at least 17,000 acres have been burned to the ground, have been eliminated. I heard somebody saying it looks like Mars. Like it looks like the surface of Mars now, just burned ember.
Together, Rogan and Kelly portrayed Newsom as a man who led like an actor in a role he never earned, spoke like a brochure, and governed like a brand. They weren't just mocking a man, they were dismantling an illusion. To them, Newsom was a masterclass in appearance over impact. Rogan mocked Gavin's bizarre habit of using failure as a springboard for media tour. He joked that Newsom could visit a crime-ridden, shuttered city and still deliver a speech about progress while grinning like he was on the cover of Escape from Reality. Rogan slammed his evasiveness, imagining him deflecting questions about business flight with sermons on gender equity or climate inclusion. He treats every hard question like a pop quiz he didn't study for, Rogan quipped, so he changes the subject and hopes the bell rings.
Do you see what Gavin Newsom said to him?
No.
Gavin Newsom said that you should be posting this. We're going to make it illegal. I'm going to sign a law. And he said, professors suck on these nuts.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did. Elon retweets altered Kamala Harris campaign. Says manipulating voices in an ad like this should be illegal. I'll be signing a bill in a matter of weeks to make sure it is. And then he says underneath, I checked with renowned world authority, professors suck on these nuts. And he said parody is legal in America.
Then came the tech exodus. Rogan mocked how Silicon Valley wasn't fleeing California out of spite, but because innovation couldn't survive amid homelessness, crime, and blackouts. Newsom used an app to turn a tech utopia into a power outage. He joked, Megyn Kelly wasn't done either. With surgical sharpness, she went after Newsom's so-called California miracle, accusing him of repackaging mediocrity as success. His leadership she said, was announcing victory at a press conference and vanishing before anyone could see the failure. She compared him to a man throwing a parade for a marathon he never ran, waving to a crowd he ignored, and wearing a medal he didn't earn. His legacy, Kelly warned, would be speeches, catchphrases, and camera-ready photo ops impressive for the press, useless to the people. And the most terrifying part, he's just getting started.